For over 100 years, the Tour de France has been a race of contrasts.
Whether it's played out in the rain,
Or it's gone down. Enjoying every moment of it. It's a duel time to perfection.
or in the scorching heat of July.
It's Bade.
This 3,300 kilometers journey is merciless.
Michael Rogers has gone down. Oh my goodness me. This is absolute chaos. There's been a crash on the bend.
Everyone comes in search of glory.
This is a stage of legends.
If it's in the climbs, in the French Alps.
Alpe d'Huez, the mecca of world cycling. It is an unforgiving climb. Flex chains off. Evans has cracked. Attaque de Contador.
Or the descent of the Pyrenees.
Ooh, that's nasty. Oh, and Belocchi's gone down.
This race has a terrifying beauty.
It is mano a mano here.
Heartbreaks,
Oh, goodness me.
Can you believe that?
Triumph.
This will be the proudest moment of his life. The adrenaline is coursing through the veins.
Life-changing moments.
That is a very special moment.
And he's got the victory. He can't believe it. Cavendish goes. The rocket has been launched.
And moments some would rather forget.
This is serious argy-bargy.
Turning his bike.
Evans has had a flat tyre. Only Augusta's gone off the edge of the road.
In 100 years, the race has seen its fair share of scandal.
I can emphatically say I'm not on drugs. That's a doping.
And also performances that have inspired a nation.
As Cadel Evans of Australia makes history today. He's the first Australian to win the Tour de France. A beautiful race.
It's not the heroes who make the race.
This was written for pride. This was written for tradition.
It's the race that makes the heroes.
But look at the speed of Simon Gerrans. Bobby and Kieran has done it again as Bradley McGee takes the lead.
Phenomenal, guys, phenomenal.
From Corsica to Paris.
This is the home of the sprinters. Every sprinter wants to win on the Champs-Élysées.
Welcome to the 100th edition of the Tour de France.
The tradition continues on SBS.
Oh, and the Evans goes down.
And what a great finish. That is unbelievable. This is it. This is the one, all or nothing.
The Tour de France really is beautiful, and the Mediterranean Sea looks absolutely pristine. As we welcome you to highlights of Stage 1 of the Tour de France, this is the 100th edition of this great bike race and the 23rd from SBS. We are so privileged and so proud to be broadcasting the 2013 race of the Tour de France. 198 riders from 22 teams will follow a course of some 3,500 kilometres over the next 3 weeks, which will take them ultimately to the Paris finish on the morning of July 22. But who are the riders that will shape this race? Who are the men to look out for over the next 3 weeks? Chris Froome is the man for Team Sky. He replaces last year's winner Bradley Wiggins, who's decided not to attend this year because of injury and illness. Alberto Contador is a two-time winner. He's back for Saxo Tinkoff Bank. And of course there's Cadel Evans, Australia's only winner, looking to repeat the performance of 2011. And what about the sprinters? Andre Greipel, Peter Sagan and Mark Cavendish. They're the riders who are expected to dominate in the opening stage here into the city of Bastia. Kate Bates is part of the team and she spoke to some of the riders before they left Porto Vecchio this morning.
Cav, you're coming into the 100th Tour de France with the British Champions jersey on. Looks like you've got some form.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I haven't been too well the last days actually, so I had form last week, but we'll see how that goes now. But I'm excited to wear this jersey. I'm excited. It's the first opportunity in my career for a bunch sprint on the first stage of the tour, so it's not going to be an easy day, but hopefully it's a bunch sprint and we'll do our best to come out with a yellow jersey.
And it's no secret that you guys have big GC ambitions. Is it a little bit about just looking after yourself in the next few days?
Yeah, I mean, it is probably the first week, stay out of trouble. We've had a look at these roads in Corsica and they're not nice, so, if we can get through with no incidents, that's, it's a win already.
We've heard a lot this morning how important it is to keep safe and, to look after each other. What does that mean for Orica Green Edge?
I'd like to say that all of us can stay upright and not hit the deck and everyone get through into the next days. But the thing that comes with a bunch sprint on the first day is a lot of nervous bike riders, and everyone in the bunch can win the yellow jersey today. So it's going to be hectic, it's going to be nervous. The last time we started without a prologue, I fell off 3 times and I ended up crashing at 2 kilometres to go. So I can only do better than that, can't I?
So let's have a look at the map for Stage 1. It's the first day of this year's Tour de France. The Tour reaches out to Corsica for the first time, and what you'll see is a stage for the sprinters. The course is totally flat except for a Cat 4 climb, and will follow the coastline to the city of Bastia, the largest city on this magnificent island. They say the sun always shines in Corsica, and the locals may be right in that regard given the perfect weather for the historic start. Flyovers and smiling faces were the order of the day in the town of Porto Vecchio. Mark Cavendish even had time to share thoughts with former teammates. And as the ribbon was cut to mark the Tour's 100th edition, it was all systems go. Well, for most of the riders, except for Chris Froome. Not the perfect start for the pre-Tour favourite. A wheel problem followed by another mechanical issue, but fortunately for Team Sky's main man, the incidents occurred in the neutral zone. It was a proud moment for Christian Prudhomme, the Tour's race director, officially setting the peloton loose. Corsica's pristine coastline was showcased as World Cycling's big names set off for another 3-week endurance test. This was the day when the sprinters were expected to come out and play. Cavendish was hoping to extend his record-breaking stage victories, but the Amiga Pharma Quick-Step rider knew he would be challenged by some very likely suspects, including Peter Sagan and Andre Greipel. Big crowds have made their way to Corsica for the Grand Depart. Andy Schleck looking at the Tour to resurrect a troubled career. A minor mechanical issue for Cadel Evans, but Australia's only Tour winner was quickly on his way. Just one climb to negotiate on the mostly dead flat course. Euskaltel's JJ Lobato grabbing the spoils. But a 5-man breakaway opened up, a lead of around 4 minutes at its maximum. And with the Mediterranean Sea glistening under the summer sun, it was a great opportunity to soak in the delights that Corsica has to offer.
Well, we've left all of the ripples of the start behind us. We're getting into the flat part of this race. This is the domain of the sprinters. These 5 riders are losing huge chunks of time just because of the general acceleration in the main field behind. It's down to inside of 1 minute and 40 seconds. But more importantly to me is who is going to get the best of the lead-outs in the main peloton behind? Is it going to be Cavendish? Is it going to be Greipel? Is it going to be Matt Goss or Peter Sagan? It's a real psychological sprint, this first sprint of the Tour de France.
It is. They all want to show each other who's going the best, that's for sure. You're absolutely right. And a little attack from Juan Antonio Fletcher, and they're all asleep when he's gone away. No reaction from Jerome Cousin, the best sprinter, and that is the experience of 10 Tours de France. 20 points over the hill for him. He's being chased by Lars Bohm at the moment, and a big reaction from Bohm as he tries to get him down. Is he going to get him on the line? He might do it here, but I don't think Fletcher is faltering.
Well, he's not, but look at Lars Boom. He's not giving up at all. There's a long way to go, and Lars Boom has got himself into the slipstream now of Juan Antonio Fletcher, and boom, he's going to come by. And that's his name, by the way.
Yes, Lars Bohm adjudged it well, and he had to react when he did, otherwise he would have been 50 metres too late. Well, that's how much they're valuing this. And I suppose of all 5 men in the breakaway, Lars Bohm is on the outside favourite to the candidate for the green jersey, so he's got 20 points in the bag. But this is the sprint we're more interested in now, and the teammates of Peter Sagan, who is the second rider in the line here. Mark Cavendish is in third. Greipel is on Sagan's wheel.
Well, that's Greipel in third place. So he's going to give the big lead out now to Cavendish. Cavendish is onto Sagan's wheel. He's coming around there, but it looks to me like Greipel looks in a good position here.
Greipel has gone for it, and is he going to be challenged by Mark Cavendish? No, and on the line, I think Cav may have got third there. It was very, very tight. I think it was Greipel, Sagan, Cavendish. Photo will decide. It was a very, very close sprint. I guess the camera, but I thought, you know, that Greipel had won that. But again, Cavendish showing that incredible last kick he's got.
Yeah, just race radio just confirming that Cavendish was the second rider in the main field across the line just behind Greipel, just getting the wheel ahead of Peter Sagan with that lunge to the line. these men still survive. 3/4 of a minute. That's around about 750 meters now. Once they get out of town here and they go out onto the long straight boulevards heading up towards Bastia, the peloton will once again see their prey in front of them.
Here's the catch. 37 kilometers to go. They'll all come back together again. So they're going to be, they'll have been in the lead for about 175 kilometers up front today, but it's going to be all over in the next few minutes. As we see Wheel of the Tour on the ground there, the Orica Green Edge bus, which is still
there's a crash. There's a crash gone down.
Crash. Somebody's clipped the banner there on the right of the road.
Yeah. Well, that's Johnny Hoogerland. It's the Dutch national champion. He was just on the outside, and they were just trying to make the race nice and safe. And Hoogerland went down there very hard indeed. You can just see the red, white, and blue jersey.
Well, that is a real shame. That is a case of deja vu. It was on the right-hand side of the road. We had that terrible accident a couple of years ago with Johnny Hoogerland. Well, let's hope he's okay. He's about 15 kilometers out from the finish, so he's got to chase. He'll lose time, but he won't be too worried about that. Let's hope he's okay. That's the most important thing. The peloton continues on, and I can tell you that the Orica Green Edge bus is strapped beneath the finish banner on the finishing line. And in about 18 minutes' time, the peloton will be coming in.
Well, it's complicated, and it's a battle, and it's a battle that's going to have to take place in a very short period of time, because, Phil, we're only about 15 minutes away from the finish line, or 12 kilometers to go. And the riders, there's been another crash in the main field down towards the back. That's come over for Radio Talk.
And it looks like Sagan's lost one of his teammates, Moreno Moser, the sprinter on the right there, moving off in that lime green jersey as well.
Well, again, this is why I've always said you have to ride as close as you can to the front end of the main field. These crashes nearly always happen in the back 30%. Just having a quick look down there to see who's been involved in that accident. Obviously, one of the first riders, number 17, Moreno Moser. He's had a very good start to the season, but here he went down very hard. The rider gone down there from Team Sky. 171, that's a bit sad as well, because that is rider Hejerdal. He had a very nasty crash in the Giro d'Italia. He's helped there by one of his teammates from Australia, Rowan Dennis. It's going to be a massive battle to remove that bus from the finishing line. I would say 12, if they're lucky, 13 minutes.
Well, it's still firmly stuck here, and the driver waiting patiently and looking very, very upset. Now, changes at the front.
They're going to, the race radio is just saying that they're going to make the, they're going to take the result of the race at 3 kilometers to go. That's complicated, but there is a photo finish there. Now, how can they get that information to the riders in time for that to happen?
Well, a very good question. And obviously, there may not. There's still a lot of people running around here. They're still hopeful of moving it. Well, see, the rule is if once you get to 3 kilometers in the Tour de France on these stages, all the times remain with the people you race alongside. So they would all get the same time, and that wouldn't affect the Tour de France. But it doesn't decide the winner of the day.
But the fact is, if they can get the information back to the riders in the main field, there is a photo finish at the 3 kilometers to go, and they use that to make sure that they know who is in the main field at that time.
Yep. Absolutely right. Well, the driver of the Tour de France looking very, very upset. He's really wedged under. I don't see them moving it just at the moment here. It will require some heavy lifting gear.
Well, I'll tell you what, Phil, they're not going to get that bus out of there in the next 10 minutes, and that is how long it takes to cover 8 kilometers.
What an
I think
shame.
What they're going to do, and I don't know how the riders will handle this, I don't know how the riders will understand this, they will have the sprint finish for the end of the race at 3 kilometers to go.
Well,
it's the only solution.
A very different sprint finish, because quite honestly, all the dangers lurked in the last 2 kilometers of the race. So we're all in the dark together here. We will follow the pictures, as indeed you are back home. 8 kilometers to go, just over 5 miles. The peloton are heading onto the beaches of Bastia now. We watch the race. There's two races to talk about now, Paul. There's the bus stuck under the banner, and there's Peter Sagan's team now driving at the front to try and drag their man into the finishing line. The only question is, where is the finishing line?
Well, they are saying that the finishing line of the stage is going to be at 3 kilometres to go. They will tell the riders what their positions are, and then the riders have to come down here to the presentation area. But they will not get across the finishing line here this afternoon.
Well, I feel very sorry for the organisation. It's an error. The banner should have been higher, but what a shame for Corsica as well on this opening stage of the Tour de France. Anyway, Peter Sagan's Cannondale team are doing their job for their sprinter. Stuart O'Grady drives for Orica Greenedge. It's his team bus which is causing the problem at the finish right now. Marcel Kittel's boys in white, they're working on the far left. Mark Cavendish, boys in blue, they're working on the far right.
They've been given the information to the team cars that once they go past the 3 kilometre to go point where there is a photo finish.
Well, it will be about 4 kilometres to go to 3 kilometres to go, which might be the finish. And yeah, well, we'll go with you. And the thing is, what about the poor riders? They don't know exactly where they're racing for right now, and it will be a whole different finish now.
A completely different finish. It's difficult to judge because although the riders will have been given the race and the information over their onboard radios, the thing is you don't have the barrier, the banner across the road to be able to judge how to make your sprint. It's going to be very complicated. It really has thrown a spanner in the works for the organisation, and a sad end of the day here on the first day in Corsica. That is what has created the problem here at the finish line.
He's totally wedged under there at the moment because the actual banner's ripped through the air conditioning system, and he's stuck under there. They can't get the banner to move off the top of the bus. Well, as we speak, the bus is backing off the finishing line. Now what will they do? Because they might well get this away. They're getting it down the road. Now, will the bus be able to get down there behind our commentary box? If they do that, Paul, we can go back to business as usual.
Yeah, but how do the riders handle that, Phil? Because they're being told one thing, then they're being told another thing. In the final few minutes of a stage of 213 kilometres, 130...
Oh, another crash. Oh, a massive pile-up as they all touch wheels again.
Cavendish is there.
Cavendish on the left of our picture is involved in this one. He's not hurt, but he's riding away as the peloton race on. That was a big pile-up. Let's have a look at that again. It was one of Cavendish's teammates who was first to go down, and that's why Cavendish was involved. He was not too far away from him.
Peter Sagan is there as well. The big contenders for today's victory have gone down. Looking a little bit further back, this has caused chaos there. Sagan badly ripped up, and we're looking to see whether Andre Greipel is still here.
Greipel looking what has happened behind Cavendish's team. I can't see Greipel either at the moment.
I can see Greg Henderson. He's the third-place rider there.
Well, we've lost two of the top sprinters, and there's no way they can rejoin in time to win the stage today.
Now it's complete and utter chaos at the front end of the peloton as Orica Greenedge have disappeared, and it's now the turn of Vacansoleil.
And because that crash has happened outside three...
Greipel is
there's
out.
Greipel standing on the roadside, the three top sprinters. Marcel Kittel now must be thinking it's his birthday, because I think he is still up in that lead group. And because they were outside 3 kilometres from the finish, those riders will lose time.
What chaos.
Well, it is the way the Tour de France is. It's a live show, and it all started with the trapping of the Orica Greenedge bus. But as this rider here has slipped away, as he races up towards the line, they're still trying to organise the sprint here. And they're still looking for everybody as Lotto continue to try and win this stage. But watch out for Henderson, because he could finish it off and get a good result as they start to race for the line here now. Peter Kenner, I think it is trying to get in on the act for Sky as they come up on the inside. Everybody dashing for gaps on the line, but on the far right of the picture, it is going to be on the line. Marcel Kittel gets the victory. Well, it all fell in place for Argus Shimano. It's Kittel's second Tour de France. He didn't finish last year, but this year he starts with a win. Win number 12 of the year for him, and he gets a yellow jersey.
Well, Phil, that was probably one of the most chaotic Tour de France stages I've ever seen. Look at the man in the white jersey here. He's waiting. Lotto Belisol tried to sort it out for their lead-out man, Greg Henderson. But the big man from Germany starts to get the turbo whistling at this point, and all of a sudden he realises how important a day it's going to be for him. As he lunges for the line, he just looks under his shoulder there. bang, and he gets the victory he was looking for.
Well, sad sights all around here. Number 184 here is Matthew Goss, left on the roadside as well. I think he may have fallen in the last bend there.
I think he has gone down in the last bend. You can see the blackness on the back of his jersey.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how we're going to write about this one.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is an amazing opening to the Tour de France, and this was supposed to be a day of the sprinters and not quite as chaotic, and it all started with the trapping of the Orica Green Edge team bus underneath the banner.
Well, what a crazy day for the opening stage of the Tour de France. We always expected something to happen, but not the scenes or the sequence of events that unfolded in the last 10 to 12 kilometres. Crashes, drama, and the bus, the Orica Green Edge bus, being wedged under the finishing banner. Well, that just about capped it all off. But full honours goes to Marcel Kittel, the rider from Argos Shimano, the German. Well, he's always promised a lot. He's had a great season so far, and he will wear the yellow jersey tomorrow for stage 2, finishing ahead of Alexander Kristoff, Danny Van Poppel, and David Miller, not known for his sprinting skills. Well, he was up there also in the top 5, but no Greipel, no Sagan, and no Mark Cavendish. And also, there was no Matthew Goss. As you saw, he crashed in the last 500 metres or so. Let's remind you as to what's happening in our coverage of the Tour de France. Morning updates can be seen every day, 7:30 a.m. on SBS 1. Nightly highlights at 6 p.m. on SBS 1. And if you can't make that, well, the updates can be seen, the nightly updates can be seen on SBS 2 at 7:30 p.m. Stage 2, it kicks in later on tonight from 10 p.m. It's live, and the stage will take us from Bastia to Ajaccio, right across this beautiful island of Corsica in the Mediterranean Sea. And let's remind you of the SBS Tour de France website, sbs.com.au/TDF. It's got everything you need to know about the Tour de France. And have a listen to the Sag Wagon with David Colbert, Sam Pang and Annabelle Drew. What a day. There's more to come. Hope you can join us soon. I'm Mike Tomalaris. Bye for now.